I should have bought more Take-Two stock before they revealed the Grand Theft Auto trailer, but c'est la vie.
Hi, Jason.
Hi, Jules.
And
We do
filmographies. Hey, Julian.
Yeah.
What movie is it?
It is a seminal classic, The Year of Living Dangerously.
Oh, man. Is that the one where everybody has a gun?
Yeah, everybody does pretty much have a gun in this movie.
Right on, man.
Well, most people do.
Hey, it's got this real up-and-coming, good-looking young man in it.
It does. Strapping young man.
Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson.
Yeah. People like Mel Gibson.
They love him.
He is very handsome, and he's got those crazy eyes.
Yeah.
That's part of it. Like, hey, you're handsome, but man, you got some fucking wild eyes there, buddy.
Yeah.
That's why you got the Murtaugh. Is he?
Murtaugh.
Yeah.
Riggs. I think he's Riggs.
But he's not too old for this shit.
No, God, no. Nobody is.
No.
Yeah.
Damon Wayans.
That's true. That is true. Now, this movie, man, it's one of those films I'm like familiar with the title, kind of. I've heard it before. But the box art, it's a mix of Gone with the Wind and Apocalypse Now.
Okay.
Did you see it?
I think so, but I don't.
It's like Mel standing there, and it looks like the Apocalypse Now, almost like font, but then he's kissing up on top.
Yeah.
I enjoyed elements of this movie,
like that little Chinese Australian boy.
Yeah, and the just the general like backdrop.
We're diving.
No, I'm just saying. I didn't expect this to be a romance, although I did expect romance elements.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really a romance, but it's a strange romance.
Yeah.
This movie, the tagline was "A love caught in the fire of revolution."
Oh, sounds sexy.
I hate to use that term love.
Yeah, no, this is some real horny shit. This isn't love.
You're in this heightened, dangerous, year-long excursion.
Yep.
It's lust.
Everybody's screaming DD Mao.
Yeah, they are. The budget was $13 million estimated. It grossed worldwide $10.2 million.
Oh, really? It wasn't like a hit.
It was not.
Oh.
And the budget...
Fucking the next movie makes its budget back. It does better than this.
Well, this one, the budget ballooned.
No.
Because originally, of course, they were going to try to film in Indonesia. And they were like, no.
Get out of here.
We don't want any of that shit around here.
We don't. Wait, you got the road wire?
Uh-huh.
Maybe? No.
No, it's about us being bad guys, sort of? No, we don't want that.
Yeah, that's no good.
So then they decided to film in the Philippines. But they were just getting an increasing amount of death threats.
Really?
Yeah.
I hear you can live like a king in the Philippines on very little money.
How's that?
If you got like a remote job, you could live like a king in the Philippines.
Yeah. You could be the Thrilla in Manila.
Yeah.
But because what it was, I guess there's a pretty sizable Muslim population in the Philippines.
Really?
And they felt this film was anti-Islam.
I thought that, for some reason, I assumed the Philippines was like pretty Christian Catholic, something like that.
There's always Muslims kicking around.
Good.
How
about that? I said good.
Indeed.
That's
great.
Right. 2023. What's up?
Yeah.
It was Ali.
Yes.
Not.
And it was actually just Will Smith playing.
So it's several steps away from what you thought was an incendiary comment.
At least two. Yeah. But with the death threats, they then moved production to Australia, which was a pain in the ass for the art department.
Yeah.
To try to pass that off.
How did they not figure this out before they started filming?
Well, I assumed, anything goes in fucking the Philippines. So they were probably like, let's do it.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, sure. But we don't have any control over these Muslims. So I don't know what you're going to do about that.
Nobody does. Can't put baby into a corner.
Yeah, the original budget was $6 million.
Okay.
Which at the time was one of the most expensive and ambitious Australian films ever undertaken.
Yeah?
Because this is an Australian production.
Yeah, Peter Weir.
That's being financed by an American film company.
He did a Picnic at Hanging Rock, right?
Here's the thing. Indonesia actually banned the film until 1999 for its graphic depiction of Suharto's bloody rise to power. The first screening in Indonesia was November 6, 2000, 2 years after Suharto was forced from office after 32 years of autocratic rule. Director Peter Weir cast a then relatively unknown Linda Hunt.
Yeah.
She had been on the stage, but not much time before the camera. In the role of Billy Kwan, after failing to find an actor who could play the part the way he wanted. Although originally it was said that David Atkins had the role that ended up being given to Linda.
I don't know who David Atkins is, but why didn't they just hire that little guy that was trying to climb up on Mel Gibson's back? Remember that?
Yeah.
It was so fucking horrible.
Joel Grey, Bob Balaban,
Martha Plimpton.
and Wallace Shawn auditioned for the part of Billy Kwan.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Bob Balaban.
Yeah.
You believe that?
Bobby B.
It's noted that none of those guys are
Asian?
Chinese Australians,
Yeah.
which is Billy Kwan. He's Chinese and Australian.
Right. But Linda Hunt is Chinese, Australian, and a boy?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. She was born in New Jersey.
Yeah, she's the first actress to win an Academy Award for playing a member of the opposite sex.
Yeah.
And the only actress to win an Academy Award for playing a cisgender man. Hilary Swank received one for playing a transgender man in Boys Don't Cry.
Yep.
Gwyneth Paltrow received one for playing a woman pretending to be a man, pretending to be a woman in Shakespeare in Love.
Mm-hmm.
And in 1983, Dame Julie Andrews was nominated for her role in Victoria, Victoria, which was her playing a woman pretending to be a man playing a woman. Linda Hunt was also the first person to win an Oscar for portraying an Australian character. Why don't you hit me with that synopsis?
Oh, if you want that, why don't you hit me with a tiny bottle of liquor? The year of living dangerously. Australian reporter Guy Hamilton, Melbourne Gibson, just arrived in Jakarta to cover a blossoming civil war. His camera person, Billy Kwan, Linda Hunt, takes a shining to Guy, and they form a steadfast bond as Billy keeps landing Guy with interviews, but also seems to be grooming him to fall in love with Jilly Bryant, Sigourney Weaver, an attaché to the British consulate. Tempers flare, much to the overall general temperature, and all-out war inches closer and closer to reality, as does the passion between Guy and Jilly. But in order to secure a lifetime together, the two must first survive the year of living dangerously.
So yeah, this movie, right? I didn't really know what to expect. I saw that it was Mel Gibson and I was like, oh, that's interesting. So the movie starts. It's Jakarta, right? Shit's flaring up. Suharto rules with an iron fist. And there's a PLI faction slowly sort of simmering. Much like a movie like The Killing Fields.
You haven't seen The Killing Fields.
I have, with Sam Waterston.
Really? I felt pretty confident that I was catching you acting like you'd seen it.
No, I've seen it.
Ask me if I've seen it.
Have you?
No.
Oh. And, because what is that? The Khmer Rouge.
Okay.
That's who it was.
All right, that sounds right.
I like these movies where it's a political backdrop, shit's popping off, and there's like a reporter. You know he's going to get busted up at one point or whatever. And that happens in here. Mel Gibson is fresh to the country, and all eyes are on him. We're already told that Westerners are basically not favored. We don't want any Westerners here.
No, they fucking hate him.
They hate him.
That big banner is like, kill all Westerners as they enter through this gate.
Using these stones we piled for you here.
Are you American?
He goes, nah, mate. Almost.
Ah, fucker kangaroo. First thing in the morning.
Anchor tickets. He meets a guy. What's that guy's name? His boy, Kumar? It is Kumar, played by Bembel Rocco. And
the guy that's balding.
Yeah.
He's the guy
who kind of looks like the police guy from Only God Forgives. You know?
The guy who walks around with like hands.
Cuts off hands and shit. Yeah. Oh, fuck. He looks like that to me.
Well, his baldness is bad. He should cut it down.
Mm-hmm. You should get a John Newton wig. So he goes, hey, you this guy? And he goes, yeah, I am that guy. My name is actually Guy.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Come with us. It's not safe around here. And so they go to the only hotel that Westerners stay at. It's the only hotel in the country that has air conditioning.
The Holiday Inn.
They meet everybody and blah, blah, blah. There's some guys there that are also reporters.
Those guys suck.
The first Australian reporter, he's already fled because he's going home to his family. So Mel Gibson doesn't have anybody to like bring him up to speed. Yeah, it's like an old, fat, drunk guy who has sex with young men.
Yeah, he's like the only one with like the least scummy of them, but only because he fucks young boys. Like that's his only other character trait is like, I'm not as big of an asshole, but shh. Did you see the way I touched that man?
And I wonder if that's his personality because he's fearful that if he, begrudges anyone, they're going to...
Don't tell!
Snoop or dupe.
I think that's what he says. Don't tell!
But Pete is the other guy.
That's the real terrible guy?
Yeah, the real fucking American.
Isn't there a third?
There is a third.
Who's got no noticeable traits?
He's an older guy. Yeah, he just sort of like bridges the gap.
He's just there. They needed 3.
They did. And so Mel's like, well, shit. And then Billy Kwan comes up like, yo, I'm Billy. I'm 4'9", motherfucker.
Yeah, it's not really how Billy rolls. Billy's like, hey, how's it going? I'm Billy. I do some weird moves, and I'm a little bit creepy and strange.
You know who he reminds me of?
Yes, I do.
Who he reminds me of? McLovin.
Oh, sure, man.
Placid?
Yeah, Christopher
Plassey?
Mintz-Platts. Plassey.
If they made this movie now...
Or they could probably just find a Chinese Australia short guy.
Nope. They'd have to make one, and that takes at least, 20 years.
Do you? So I find her to be pretty good as Billy Kwan.
I love her.
I feel like the reason you get Best Actor is I think that Linda Hunt's a little bit of a weirdo. I feel like this Billy is just a little bit of a weirdo, and it gives some nice depth to him.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how much of that is intentional. I think she's a little weirdo.
Oh, absolutely. So the movie actually starts with Billy typewritering. Mel Gibson's coming, and boy, I didn't see this coming.
Could it finally be a friend?
Yeah.
What?
My precious.
Very Gollum.
Because Billy keeps a file on people that he cares about, but probably everybody. Mm. Billy introduces himself to Mel. And Mel's like, well, whatever. And he starts walking around the streets and they go, hey, man, it's not safe out here. He goes, I give a fuck. And they spit on him.
Yeah, they really do. They're brandishing like machetes at him.
I think one guy's got an AK, yeah. So, it's hostile there. Yep. So Mel goes to a Suharto get-together and he can't get anybody to interview him.
Nobody will interview him?
He can't interview anybody, and vice versa.
Yep.
The older, fatter guy, he seems to be in, and the other guy, Pete, he's talking to some muckety muck. So Billy goes, let me guess, you didn't get to interview anybody. And Mel Gibson goes, no, they're all entrenched, and I'm like, new blood, essay. And Billy goes, well, I'll tell you what.
Blood in, blood out.
Let's be partners.
That's what Billy says.
Mm-hmm. But we don't talk about what we're doing here. That's rule number 1 and 2. But you can talk about it. It's fine. And so he goes, all right, well, tell you what. I'll get you an interview with the rebel leader. He goes, well, how the hell did you do that? The guy doesn't do interviews. And he goes, I got the hookup.
Says he does when he has to.
Holler if you hear me. So Mel goes, all right, let's do it.
And then Mel pauses, looks at him and goes, is this Yellowface? Is this what they talk about when they say Yellowface?
Yeah, except I don't think they pen the eyes for Linda Hunt.
No.
You don't pen the eyes, then it's just not Yellowface. You pen the eyes, then it's Yellowface.
I feel like they darkened her skin a bit.
I think she's just oily and dark.
Man, they dyed her hair.
You find Linda Hunt attractive? This would be a good topic for boners.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Her ears are very weird.
Yeah, what's up with her ears?
I don't know.
She's 4'9".
Yeah.
She had the same partner for a super long time.
I was going to say somebody's name, but Ron Perlman?
No.
Is Ron Perlman related to Rhea Perlman?
I don't think so.
Wouldn't that be cool? 2 Perlmans.
Yeah.
I don't come across that too often.
That's his sister.
Yeah. It's his daughter.
He beat the shit out of Danny DeVito for cheating on her.
Yeah. Did he?
I don't know. I think so.
Oh, jeez. Because he got that Always Sunny money.
Well, yeah. I'm Frank. Look at my feet. Pay the troll toll.
Yeah. Oh, God. What does he say? You got to pay the troll toll if you want to
Something about
something in my
getting
hole.
this boy's hole.
Boy's hole, yeah. Jesus Christ. So they do the interview and it's gangbusters. And the other guys are like, oh, yeah, nice job. But Pete's like, it's bullshit. You fucker. You can't be on our level. And Mel throttles them. And they go, hey, boys, settle down. And they shake hands.
Who says that?
The fat guy.
Has he got an Australian accent?
He does now. I don't know. Is he British?
I don't know.
He's a fat. That's what it is.
I don't think I'm really good at accents because I'm quite mystified on Sigourney in this one.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, I'm like, oh, British. Wait, is she doing an accent? Is she not talking enough for me to be able to pick up on it? What's happening here?
It's a Keanu Reeves kind of accent. It just sort of ebbs and flows. She forgets to do it, and they don't call her on it. I don't know why. I mean, I guess the character is British, but I don't know why it was important for her to be British. So much so that she tried to do it and then gave up almost immediately.
Is this a true story, mate, or is it just based on a novel?
The novel is based on the novelist's brother's experience here.
Okay.
Who's the producer, I think, for the film.
Here?
Yeah.
Me basement.
Yeah. The Jasement.
That's a good name for it.
It is, isn't
Can we
it?
call it that? Welcome to the Jasement.
Yeah. So he's getting some clout. I think at one point now recently is when Billy introduces Mel to the Colonel and Jilly.
Yeah.
But the Colonel's Scottish?
I don't know. Is the Colonel in a relationship with Jilly or she just works for him?
She just works for him. I think he would like that.
But his dick doesn't work because he's too old?
I think she's just not interested.
Because he's old? That she's young and beautiful?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that could be a problem.
She's nubile.
Bang.
And she was dating the French reporter guy who left to go to Saigon.
Yeah.
Reminds me of Saigon.
I was in junior high, dickhead.
You know what that's from?
No.
Die Hard.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So they're at a social club, country club or something.
Yeah, the place they call it the place to be.
And the Colonel's a little, standoffish. And they get drinks, highballs. What do they get? Gin and tonics.
Oh my God, yeah, because he's a real prick.
And he goes, "What the fuck is this?"
Gin and tonic, sir.
This is gin tonic and ice.
Gin and tonic always with ice, sir.
Gin tonic does not always have ice. Americans always use ice. I'm not an American.
Great Britain, we don't.
Only Americans eat their gin and tonics with ice in it.
We drank them room temperature where I come from.
Moldy, too. And Mel Gibson goes, "Well, I'll take it." And the guy goes back to the bar. And they really do emphasize the bartender looking with disgust at the Colonel. So I'm thinking, oh. Mm-hmm. So then the Colonel's like, well, hey, because Mel Gibson inadvertently mentions he heard about something happening and there was some idiot playing the bagpipes. And he goes, yeah, that was me.
It helped the morale.
So then he goes, all right, Mel, let's go race in the swimming pool. And he goes, oh, I don't do that, mate. He goes, oh, fucking I. Boy, hell you do. Let's do it. And he goes and does it. And he visibly allows the Colonel to win.
Yeah. He slows down there.
He slows down quite a bit. Yeah. He might as well be swimming in reverse.
Oh, I'm pretending like I got a cramp in my foot.
And the Colonel goes, God damn it, you gave me a run for the money.
It's a real Brad Pitt across the tracks moment.
Billy apparently proposed to Jilly. Billy and Jilly.
Oh, you know what? Really only at a certain point in this movie when they refer to Billy as he. I was like, wait, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, what? Linda Hunt's not just like a small lady? And then I look it up and they're like, no, it's a small Chinese Australian man.
I was expecting a subplot where we come to find out Billy's a woman.
She's totally believable as like a man, but I know who she is, so I was very confused by it.
That's just it. I know who she is, so I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah.
Oh, Billy's really a woman. That's why whatever.
Every time I kept seeing Linda Hunt was in this, I was like, oh yeah, from Terminator.
Mm-hmm.
I kept thinking it was Linda Hamilton.
Oh yeah, Helen Hunt from Twister.
Yeah.
Their idea is to find a good man and set them up with Jill.
Yeah, Jilly,
for reasons unknown.
It wants her to be happy?
Why?
I don't know.
But Billy also has adopted a woman, a full-grown woman, who has like a 4 or 5-year-old.
Adopted her?
Yeah, that's what they say.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But not really like adopted.
Of course not. It's Indonesia.
Like gives money and tries to help.
Goes and visits, gives wads of money to, scolds, tries to communicate, but apparently doesn't speak the actual language.
Yeah, you think you'd learn it.
You'd think I mean, everybody's giving everybody wads of money in this movie.
Well, it's because, I mean, it could make a huge difference, right? They were talking about the $5 to make a giant difference, and Mel Gibson's like, yeah, but, it's just how life is. Some people got to eat out of the trash, even though I wipe my butt with real money sometimes just for fun.
Mm-hmm. I was wondering if maybe it was because of inflation, like the yen. You go buy some bread and it's like 65,000 yen. So I'm like, oh, maybe that's what it is here. Because I've been watching a lot of Perry Mason, and they got like the $1,000 bill.
I mean, I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah. People are just walking around with $1,000 bills all the time.
In Perry Mason?
Yeah. They go, hey, here's $1,000 bill.
What would you even pay for with $1,000 bill?
His retainer.
For Perry Mason?
One woman gave him 38 cents and he took it.
This is black and white, right?
Yeah. Another guy came in, he goes, here's $10,000. I need you to represent me. Perry goes, well, I need to know what it's about first.
But like a
guy takes out money from the bank and they give him a stack that's like, I guess, 10 bills, and it just says $10,000 on it.
What year is it set in? Is it like $2,000 for a house back then?
Well, that's what's questionable, because it's like 1956 or 8 when it starts, mid to late 50s.
Should I be watching this?
So like when they go get a cup of coffee, it's like 5 cents.
Yeah.
But then a lady just comes in and is like, here's $1,000. I need you to represent me. I'm like,
God, they made a lot of money back then.
Yeah, but I don't know.
All right.
So the idea is that Billy is trying to almost find a surrogate for their deficiencies.
Oh, Billy wants to be in the cuck chair.
Yes.
I will be your third wheel and be your friend, but I get to watch, but I will never touch.
It's almost like a story about Frankenstein.
And Mel Gibson's the Frankenstein?
So Mel Gibson does try to hit it off with Sigourney, but she's kind of like, look, I'm leaving in 2 weeks. I've already done a fling.
Yeah.
I don't need this. I got the Colonel. But they do, through his pestering, hit it off a little bit. And they have sex.
They do.
And Billy's loving it. But Suharto is about to give...
He's always giggling in the closet watching them go at it.
Suharto is giving the rebels guns, which is going to kick off civil war. So Sigourney gets a telegraph or something, coded message, that effectively says guns are coming. And so she goes to Melbourne and she goes, hey, guns are coming, bro. I want you to come with me because I'm leaving. I want you to be on that jet plane and we'll go somewhere else. And he goes, well, I can't do that. You just gave me the scoop of a lifetime.
I'm going to tell everybody what you told me.
You're just a fucking mark to me.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, what? And he goes, all right, toodles. So he's trying to uncover the truth. He figures if he can find a source, he'll print the article and then all signs won't point to Sigourney.
Uh-huh.
But Billy's like, no, dude, they're going to fucking know.
Everybody knows you're hanging out with her.
She told you as a confidant, not as a source. He goes, well, don't you understand? I got to get the story yet. He goes, no, I'm sorry. What was that?
Well, you story. You need Kevin?
Yeah, Steve.
You like dogs?
So he does eventually go talk to a guy, Kumar. He turns out to be PLI.
Uh-huh.
He takes him to a resort with Tiger Lily.
Yeah, what's up with that lady, dude? She trying to seduce him?
I don't know, because it seems like her and Kumar are like a thing.
But maybe they're just agents together?
They are agents, but Tiger Lily's higher up in the PLI than Kumar.
Uh-huh.
So when they're at this Dutch villa, she jumps into the water.
Yeah.
We don't see this because I don't think it really happens.
The water's so dirty.
Then it cuts later. He's sleeping and dreaming that he dives in after her because she's dead, but she's not dead, and she swims up and then she's trying to dunk him.
She's holding onto the bottom of the pool.
She's holding his head under the water.
Well, no, I mean, when the reason you think she's drowning is because she's holding on to something to pretend she's drowning.
Right, the pretend you're drowning latch that you can hold on to.
I think there's this shit in the bottom of the pool.
and he wakes up,
I'm all juicy from the sweat.
And he goes to Kumar, he goes, you're PLI, aren't you? He goes, yeah. And look, dude, you're already on the hit list, man. Just bugger off, right off into the sunset, like Gene Kelly and Grace Carl.
Yeah, yep. That's what he was in.
And he goes, yippee-ki-yay. he eventually meets up with Sigourney again, who wants nothing to do with him.
Yeah, he's a bitch.
And he goes, look, I tried to find a different source to the story, but I didn't want to lose you. You're leaving at 2 p.m. I'm going to be on that plane. And she goes, all right, though. But then the morning of the flight, he sees Bonobo, some other guy, the driver guy, listening to the radio, and he goes, what's going on? He goes, the guns are here, mate. And they sieged the palace. They're taking over. And he goes, well, get me there. I got to get there. And he goes, well, what?
Why would we go to the most dangerous place?
Aren't you leaving? And he goes, nah, fuck that.
I like stories.
So they get there, and the guy's like, you can't be here. And he goes, nah, I'm going in anyways, mate.
If it bleeds, it leads.
And in fact, there's some bleeding because the guy says, what? And butts Melly in the fucking eyeball.
Because fucking Mel Gibson, that guy, he doesn't understand what the guys say, but like he knows it means get the fuck out of here.
Yes.
Like, I'm just going to move with confidence. The guy's yelling at him, and then that's it.
Instead of getting the fuck out of here, I'm actually going to go the fuck in there. And he busts him up, and he folds like a cheap suit.
Yeah, and then the driver like saves him.
Oh shit, I got him. And they throw him in the car.
Stupid journalist. Oh yeah, that guy drags him in there and shoves him in there. It's pretty great.
He throws his bag in there. So they get the hell out of there, and they go to Billy Kwan's, who's been missing now. Oh, wait, no.
Oh, yeah, Billy's dead.
Billy is dead. He's had enough. And he goes to this banquet at the White Guy Hotel where Suharto is supposed to be. Goes up to the 7th or 8th floor and hangs a banner that says, Suharto, feed your people.
Because he's seen people dump, like, rice grains out of a truck.
And a kid was eating it.
Yeah, eating it raw.
From the dirt.
Yeah.
So the security staff bursts in and they throw him out of the window. Now, his performance is so good falling out of that window.
Yeah.
It looks like a dummy.
Yeah.
Hits the ground. Mad Max comes running up. Billy! Sigourney goes, Billy! And they get the banner up right as Suharto drives by.
Yeah. And, it's pretty amazing that Billy fell out of a window several stories up, hit the ground, is bleeding from the head, so the head hit.
Yeah.
Still alive.
Not only does he hit the ground, but there's like a good couple of minutes where then Mel turns around and runs towards Sigourney, and they're stopped, and everybody's blah, 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 blah. Then we see Billy, who's still alive. I feel like that moment would have been brief and long gone.
Yeah, Billy wouldn't live. Their head would explode.
Now,
Mel's back at Billy Kwan's.
He's busted up, and the guy goes, your eyes detached. I'm going to wrap up both your eyes like Minority Report.
Right, because are you going to go blind? How does that?
If he doesn't not get wrapped up, he will lose sight, and he could very most likely lose sight in his eyeball.
The one that's damaged.
So I wonder if it's just because if one was able to see,
it becomes the powerful one, and all the resources go to that, and the other one dies.
No, your eyes move in tandem. So if you're looking at shit constantly, the bad one's moving, and it should not be moving.
My eyes don't move in tandem. Is that okay?
So then he's just laying in bed for a few hours, and
sweating it up.
Kumar rolls through like, hey, the coup failed, and I'll probably be dead pretty soon here. And Mel goes, well, shit, drive me to the airport, man.
Yeah, I mean, you're already dead. Can you just do that?
He goes, what? They'll find me. He's like, yeah, no shit.
But they're going to anyways, right?
Drive me to the airport, and then you can take my car and drive up to the Dutch villa.
Yeah, go to the mountains. You'll be fine.
With Tiger Lily.
Do you think she's still alive?
Yes.
Because she's cute?
Yes. So they get to the airport. Mel takes off his bandages for whatever reason, and they're driving up to the airport, and they line up a bunch of motherfuckers, and it just... And one lady grabs her shoulder and falls down. Like she's dead. And the guy goes, what are you doing here? And he goes, Mel Gibson. And he goes,
Don't look at him. That's just my driver.
All right, go through.
Yeah.
And they're all like, we did it. And he gets into the airport, and they're, what are you doing here, Whitey? And he goes, I'm trying to leave. And he goes, we'll take a moment to stamp your passport. And then he's about to get on the tarmac, and the guy goes, no, stop, wait, what's in your bag? And they pull out his tape recorder, and they're just unwinding the tape, and he's just like backing away. Like, are you watching? You're not watching? And he just walks out.
They're too excited by the mystical magic that is this modern machine. Did you think he was going to get blasted as he's doing the extremely long walk to the airplane?
So he's doing an extremely long walk to the airplane, and I'm like, oh, yeah.
For sure they're going to kill him.
Cacao.
It's Gallipoli all over again.
It is Gallipoli all over again. But it wasn't.
No.
it in fact was the opposite of Gallipoli.
Right. Sigourney Weaver's waiting up there, and that big old mouth starts making out with him.
Yeah, they're taking the ramp away already, the stair ramp. And somebody goes, "Oh no, bring it back. It's Mel Gibson." So he gets up on the ramp. Sigourney's like, "Oh, hey, Melly." And they hug. And she turns her back to the camera so that we could still see it's Mel Gibson's face. And the movie ends. So that's The Year of Living Dangerously, which, saying it just now, is a really dumb title.
Yeah. There was like a point of time in this movie where I was like, oh, this is kind of good. This is interesting. We got like a good setting. I kind of like these people. I'm somewhat invested. And then I just didn't care anymore.
Yeah.
I was sort of into it leading up to her and Gibson. And then I was like, I don't care about this. But then they were like super hornying at each other. So I was back into it for about 2 minutes. And I didn't really care at all.
There's cool elements, but each part is a small piece, too small of a piece to really go the extra mile and like engage me. I started this movie at about 10 p.m. And I went through the whole thing in one night. I wasn't bored, but I just could care less about their romance. At one point, after Guy runs the story, and then he has his sort of come to Jesus moment with Billy. Billy literally says, "I made you. I created you. I gave you all of those stories and I manufactured this. I gave you Jill and now I'm taking her away." And I was like, this is interesting. Whatever this little fucker is doing, this is interesting.
But then Billy's gone.
Billy is gone because he recedes into the backdrop of their whirlwind romance, which, the moment they get off that plane, probably the moment they sit in their seats, Sigourney's probably thinking, I think I made a huge mistake.
Oh, I don't know. He's pretty handsome.
Kinda.
Billy's the main character, and she got supporting actress.
Not only that, in the original billing, Linda Hunt is like 5th or 6th.
That's crazy.
It isn't until after she's the only award-winning element on re-releases that they bump her up to 3rd.
For 2/3 of this movie, she's easily the main character. Sigourney's pretty uninteresting in this movie.
She is.
The only part that I'm really into is when she's real horn dogging on him.
When she's dancing. I like that too. Because he's trying to like hang out with a Filipino woman. I'm sorry, a Indonesian woman. He keeps looking at Sigourney. And she doesn't ever once cast a glance at him. So it's funny. He's over there like with this lady. I forget her name. And eventually he like sees Sigourney. He's like, "Hey, this is a woman I'm standing next to." She goes, "Okay, cool, whatever." They also have a curfew.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
It is interesting.
The guy at the party, he goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, I hate to interrupt, but it's almost curfew time."
A curfew's a big fucking deal, too.
Yeah, it usually is in military juntas.
What's your score on the movie?
For this movie, the more I talk about it, the less I want to even think about it.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 4.5.
Oh, really? I'd still give it a 5.
Okay.
It's not unbearable.
It's fairly well made.
Yeah.
There's
Peter Weir's good.
A lot of insert shots that a lesser director wouldn't even have thought of getting coverage for that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
But overall, yeah, fuck it. Whatever.
What do you give Sigourney?
I'm going to give her a 5.
I'll give her a 5.5. You can rate, review, subscribe. Pretty cool to do that. But if you did review us on Apple Podcasts, you could pick a movie for us to cover. Take a listen to that Drop Dead Fred episode. We did that. Check us out on Reddit, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We doing filmographies. Email us, wedoingfilmographies@gmail.com. We also have this device where you can call or text it. Julian, how do they do that?
You pick up your phone or just hold it in your hand and you dial 763-634-1897.
We'll see you next week with Deal of the Century. I've been Jason.
I've been Jules.
Goodbye.